What's up everyone? Today we're going to be diving into our Micro Red Dot series again. Today we'll be looking at the Primary Arms Micro Reflex Sight. Now let's get on the bench, see how this thing does. This is the second video of this series. If you remember back to the first one we did, our first one we looked at was a Crimson Trace Micro Rad, and I genuinely liked that red dot. I do want to say thank you to Primary Arms for providing this red dot for testing, and also a huge shout out to IWI for providing the Masada Slim. You're going to see that in the rest of these videos. It's going to be our Micro Red Dot optics test platform going forward. Now, as a reminder, there's 5 main areas that we're going to cover as we go over these red dots. First, we'll look at installation. Next, we'll look at the Walsh wants me to say form factor, but I'm going to say size, shape, and overall looks. Third, we'll take a look at the glass. Fourth, illumination. And I'll try to show this in bright and low light settings. And then the last part is kind of an all-encompassing additional features. Now, Walsh has a lot of praise for Primary Arms optics, and I genuinely like them as well. I have some of their red dots and some of their scopes myself. But I'm curious if they can meet our standards for a pistol red dot. Now, first thing to tackle is the installation. This optic does have the RMSC footprint, which is the same footprint on our IWI Masada Slim, so that's going to fit just fine. Now, mine came with the battery already installed, and it turns on, so that's a bonus. Now, this red dot comes with only one set of screws. All right, so on the Masada, just plop the red dot in. Right, get one of your screws. Just want to show that this does install just fine on the Masada. Get it nice and tight. Optic's not going to go anywhere. But this kind of brings up a good question, I guess. I highly doubt the thread pitch on the IWI Masada Slim is the same as the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus or the SIG 365 or the Springfield Armory Hellcat. So why include only one set of screws? Now, a simple fix in my mind would be to just include the proper thread pitch screws for those different optics. I don't think that would be that expensive. It's what Crimson Trace does, it's what Trijicon does. As you see here, when I bought my adapter for the RMRCC for my Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, it comes with screws for the Smith & Wesson, and it comes with screws for the Glock or the Springfield Armory. Now, again, a very cheap and simple fix here for Primary Arms to just include those screws. One of the benefits of having the IWI Masada Slim is that it does come with its own screws for installing optics, so you don't have to really worry about that. So if you decide to buy this optic, know that you might have some installation problems if you don't have an IWI Masada Slim, and I don't know which of those main 3 has the same thread pitch as the IWI. So if you do buy this, hopefully you have some other micro red dots laying around and you can just kind of steal the screws from those to fit your gun. From what I found, the SIG, the Hellcat, the Smith & Wesson Shield Plus all use different thread pitches. And there's no mention in the manual that I can find on what thread pitch these screws that come with this optic are. And now maybe I'm overthinking this, but a micro red dot should be able to fit micro pistols, and so again, why not just include all the screws that you would need? I mean, again, cheap fix for Primary Arms going forward, and small miracle is that at least it's not cut at the doctor footprint. Now you'll see as it fits in this space on the Masada Slim, it fits it just fine. It's pretty tight towards the rear sight, but there's a good gap in the front. Now we saw this in the Crimson Trace review, and honestly this isn't that big of a deal for me. In fact, it's something that I like. This tells me that there's a little bit of space here that if I get a slightly larger micro red dot to test in this series, I shouldn't have a problem with it fitting this space. All right, let's take a look at the form factor. When first looking at this, the Holosun 407K came to mind, but it doesn't really look like that when you get it side by side. The Primary Arms is a little less beefy and it doesn't have a side load battery. Are side load batteries proprietary to Holosun? Now, Joe's talked about his Holosun 407K on our Thursday night live chats, and he's complained about the fisheye that he has with that optic. I honestly don't see much fisheye with this optic. Now, if you go out of your way and you want to make it your mission to find a fisheye in the optic, yeah, you're going to find it. But it just hasn't been that big of a deal for me. I mean, within 15 yards, I'm shooting with both eyes open, and my idiotic brain just figures out how to cancel out whatever distortion might be there. Like most of the other optics we'll show in this series, I like that the glass is recessed a bit. Makes it easier to rack the slide against something hard without fear of damaging the glass. Now on the left side of the optic we have the plus button to increase illumination, and we'll get into illumination a little later in the video. On the right side is the minus button to decrease illumination. There's also windage and elevation adjustment set screws on the top and on the right. There's no notch cut out to co-witness, but the optic is slim enough I can anyways. Finally, these little ridges on the top of the glass and throughout the optic are there to cut 30% of the weight of this optic off. No, I'm just kidding. I made that stat up. But they do look cool. I'll give them that. All right, next area is glass. Primary Arms does say this is multi-coated, and unlike Crimson Trace, they do say it's for scratch and fog protection. Not sure how well the camera is going to pick this up, but the glass is pretty clear, although there is a slight blue discoloration near the top of the lens. And I talked about this in the Crimson Trace video. It kind of reminds me of like that blue tint you see at the top of your windshield. Now again, speculation. I think that this serves a very similar purpose to help with sun glare. And I really like the wide field of view with this red dot. It gives me what seems like instant acquisition while shooting. The red dot does seem to be exactly where I want it to be each and every time. And again, that could just be years of practicing with a red dot, or it could be good construction of this red dot. Maybe it's a little of both. All right, next let's take a look at illumination. Now, unlike the Crimson Trace, which had auto illumination, this does have manual illumination. And they do claim it's daytime bright, and trust me when I say, it's more than capable. I mean, unless you're trying to shoot the sun, you're going to be able to see this thing no problem. I don't know why it looks like there's a blood red moon in there. It is definitely not that big. It's a 3 MOA dot. It's like the sun of Tatooine. Now on the PA website, it does say that this has 10 illumination settings. So I'm sure you'll find a setting that works perfect for you. But we're not in the dead of summer anymore, and so that might change as my carry options change when summer comes around again, or when it starts getting bright outside again. Setting 5 or 6 is plenty good for me. And again, it does look weird on the camera, but that is setting 6. Seven, 8, 9, 10. That thing is like stupid bright. 9, 8, 7, 6. All right, finally, let's get into my favorite category, and that's the additional features. And again, this is just a catch-all where I talk about the things that didn't really exactly fall in line with those other 4 categories. Now, first thing, I think this is most important, I found no information about water resistance. Like, I'm not even sure if I should use this thing if I have the slightest bit of sweat. Bro, I'm not a Navy SEAL, okay? If this thing can't handle my sweat, I'm not gonna dunk this thing in a bucket of water. Now, I did reach out to Primary Arms to ask them, and as of the recording of this video, I haven't heard back from them yet on if this does have some type of water resistance rating. But the silver lining, I get to test it. Not in this video though, we don't have enough time. I think it's gonna be beneficial to start carrying this thing regularly and just see how it performs. We are getting into the rainy season, so take it out, shoot it outdoors, see how it functions in the rain, and then do a follow-up video and let you guys know how it worked. We'll also see how it handles my body sweats. No, seriously, it's disgusting how much I sweat. Maybe there's some type of water resistance, I just can't find any info on it. Another thing to touch on, the bottom access battery. Now, I'm serious, is this a thing that only HoloSun can do? is the side load battery. Now, all the red dots we're going to show in this series have a bottom access battery, so that's not a ding on primary arms at all. Now, with medium illumination settings, this battery is supposed to last 40,000 hours, so you shouldn't have any issues with the battery suddenly going out unless you decide to leave this in your safe for 6 years. One other thing to discuss is primary arms warranty. This does come with their lifetime warranty, but would that lifetime warranty cover sweat malfunction? Yeah, hey Walsh. Can you ask DAT if their warranty covers sweat damage? No, not wet. Sweat. S-W-E-A-T. Yeah, I sweat a lot. All right. As we round out this video, we need to get back to our list. Now, based on the ridiculous price point of this optic, which is going to be coming out at $150 MSRP, so the sale price is going to be even better than that. I think it's going to be hard to beat this, and with the functions that you get at that price point, this optic is going in first place. Now, with a 3 MOA dot that doesn't starburst any worse than optics double or even triple the cost, I'm super impressed with this optic. Top that all off with a super easy to use lifetime warranty, and I think you start seeing why this is going to be tough to beat in this category. But that's it for me, folks. I hope you liked this video and I hope you liked this series. As we've talked about before, we do have other optics. We have the Ride-On, Swamp Fox, and a Trijicon RMR-CC that we'll be seeing later on in this series. If there's other micro red dots that you're aware of, hey, let me know down in the comments and we'll see if we can get a hold of one and show it off in one of our videos. But again, that's it. I just want to say thanks to our Patreons and our YouTube members. You guys make all this stuff possible and let us get this cool stuff to show off to you. And thanks to everyone that likes, comments, and subscribes. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this optic. Alright guys, I'm out. Excuse me.